Hi, and welcome to the first part in the two-part on Howitzer tutorial. I'm your host, Zero Wolf. Going into this video, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to just... Sorry, I dropped my controller. We're going to go in and describe Howitzer's abilities, their usefulness, talk about positioning with Howitzer, as positioning is key with him. We're also going to talk about how to use him as a mid laner and off laner. In the second part of the video, we'll do an online match, and we'll see how things go. I will explain step by step what am I doing, how am I going to think to play as the Howitzer, and we'll see how it goes. This is not a pro video. This is for starting people that want to get better with Howitzer. I'm not the best, I am not the worst. I am currently high gold rank in ELO, agora.gg. Stats, I am currently level 9 Howitzer. I am almost at master level, and I see newer players use Howitzer and they use him incorrectly, or I shouldn't even say incorrectly. I mean, this is a game. You can use your character however you want, but this is just to help them out in the earlier stages. A lot of people want to say Howitzer's bread and butter is his missile, his R2000 missile. This is not the case. And higher play, you're not going to see the missile used a lot except for against enemy heroes as a finisher or to clear a wave of minions. No, his best ability is the landmine. His landmine helps position. You can knock minions in and out of towers. You can knock heroes in and out of towers. You can gank people from behind and force them back into your team's line of fire. You can use the landmine to get out of certain ults, like the Fae, his ult that pulls you back in. You can throw a landmine down, position yourself with Howitzer, and knock yourself out of it. Gideon's ult, Black Hole. And once again, throw a landmine down, you can knock yourself and Gideon away. Countess, you can throw a landmine down right before she strikes you, use the landmine, pushes her away, her ult goes on cooldown, and you get no damage. What's another couple of few instances for this? I'm trying to think of everybody's ult. Doesn't really help with Aurora's ult, because once she goes on you, you're pretty much gonna get frozen. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it about the landmine. And in the second part of this video, which once I said is going to be an online match, you'll be able to see the different uses of landmine and how it's more beneficial to Howitzer. And it's also one of the first things you should max out because you always want it on, off a cooldown. It is that important. His second best ability is slow grenades. A good combo tactic for ganking is if you're mid Howitzer, go behind enemy lines, get behind them on the off lane, and force them into enemy fire, throw slow grenades, and just sit back, block their path, and by the time if you are lucky enough to have cooldowns off, use it again. I want to say 8 times out of 10, depending on the player, if they have a leap or if they have an escape, you're going to get the kill or get the assist. And that'll help your carry out, or your offlaner out, depending on which lane you gank from. Now we're going to go into talk about his ult a little bit. I am different from most people. I do not like saving ult. I believe in more damage over time. With his ult, I use it more as a wave clear. You can see this as bad, but in also a good situation because it just depends who you're playing. You just got to figure out, feel out your opponents, determine how you can use it. Also, the main reason I also use it as a wave clear is because there's no voice communication in Paragon right now. You can do Discord, you can do Skype, but it's very hard to communicate with people in game. Once you get to higher levels and people do Discord chat, it is easier to pull off his ult the way it's supposed to be, where you get someone with crowd control, you get someone to stun, you can time the ult so we're within the circle radius and just deal massive damage. Or if you get a Decker in combination with her ult, or Gideon in combination with his ult, or an Aurora in combination of her ult and her root, and Howitzer can use his ult to his max potential, but you mainly use it as a zoning and wave clear tools. And you will see that it's good to attack towers with, to zone the enemy away so your other teammates can hit towers. And it's also, in some instances, used as an escape. Not the best escape, though, but a form of escape. Alright, I've talked about the missile, the landmine, the slow grenades, and make it rain. So let's talk about his stats. As you can see, he has a basic attack of 2. It sucks. I've seen an interesting little build where they use a machine gun version of Howitzer, where they do nothing but attack speed and power. As fun as that sounds, I don't go that route. Mainly because I like the ability penetration. Even though I don't get much, I still like the ability penetration and the high power damage output. And 9 times out of 10, if you're trying to rely on your basic attack, you're just in for a rude awakening, because if you're going against a melee, it's often hard to aim a ranged attack when you have a melee spinning around you, hitting you in all sorts of angles and ways. So, ability power 8, this is where he comes in as a burst or nuker. It's his best form of attack. You want to spam your abilities as much as you can, because they do massive amounts of damage. He has a decent durability, and the reason he has a mobility of 4 is because he can escape with his ult and landmine. We're going to talk about deck building now. Now, I'm not the best at deck building. I have some issues with my deck. I know I need to fine tune, but once again, this is just a guide. This is a starting point. Take from it what you will. Deviate from it, play with it, do what you want. This is, let's say, a butte starting point. I mainly focus on power and ability penetration. A lot of people get health potion. With Howitzer, you're ranged. You're not supposed to be getting hit much in the beginning of the game, and by the time you get rid of health potion, I mean, you could have had something else there better. Like, you could have Madstone Gem fully filled out. Or you could have, I have strike and tokens and cast tokens. Main reason for this, as you're building your deck, as you're playing and trying to fill out your cards, you're going to have 1 or 2 that you're just points you're just saving up for to get to that 3, to get to another item or get to another piece of slotted equipment. That's wasteful. You could be doing something with those points. So I have a bunch of cast tokens and strike tokens in the deck to waste. Literally, they're just there for waste. They're just there to take up space, to give me an extra couple of points of power until I can get something better. We usually start off with Madstone Gem in my build, 2-2-1, just to get quick power out there. You get 12 power to start with, and I also start with a mana potion, so I can spam landmines, because you always want to start with landmine first. I go into Magus Ward. Main reason for this is depending on your teammate, team dynamics. You don't know who's going to support or not, and you really need those wards. Especially if you're playing with Howitzer. You need to know when you can push, when you can pull back. You need to know if you're going to be ganked or not. It's just really important to get wards down. I can't stress that enough. Wards can save lives. If all you do is ward all game, I will star you, I will respect you, and I will give you like a thumbs up, because wards are really important in this game. But going back, you'll see me with a couple of meltdowns. Once again, ability penetration, nothing major. I also have, going in later, you have a choice to make in my build. I want to stay in the field more with mana generation? Like, basically, do I want to wave clear more? Or do I want to do massive damage and fight enemies? That's where I want to go with this. Depending on what we need more, if we need wave clear, I will go from power and get rid of Madstone Gem and pick up either a Shockwave or Teleblink, just depending on the situation. Shockwave also has a very good active. Note, for Shockwave, you do not, I repeat, you do not have to fill it out completely to use this active. I think it's minus 250, slow for 2 seconds. Yes, slow enemies by 250, max movement for 2 seconds. Great way to pull off combos like slow grenade, this ability, and then slow grenade again if it's off cooldown. And then I have Teleblink. I think in the future, Blink will be a common staple in most decks. However, in the bronze, silver, and gold leagues, you don't see Blink used often, if not at all. And I think the main reason for this is because you don't want to chase down people a lot of times. Because chasing down can mean death. I think it's more used as an escape tool, and it's a lot better than your universal one, because I think you can use this every 5 seconds. If I'm not mistaken. No, yeah, 15 seconds, sorry. Use it every 15 seconds. You can use it within 5 seconds of taking damage. Well, anyway, that's the deck. We talked about his abilities. Now we're going to go into part 2 of the video and go into a match and see how it goes. Once again, I will talk about what I'm doing, positioning wise, what abilities I'm choosing, and how I'm building my cards. It depends on the situation, depends how my team's doing, depends on what we have, what our team dynamic is. Well, anyway, stay tuned for part 2 of this video. Look forward to it, and thanks for watching.